Does God ever ask you if you're ready? Does God ever say that, yo, listen, you're about to go through some shit real quick. Get ready. Now, it's just going to be a lesson. It's going to be something that I needed to teach you. It's going to be something that I needed to hip you to. But you have to go through it. And that's life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is CWTFB Radio. And I am your host, the creator of this platform, Charlie Machine. A lot of y'all may know me as Chizzy, Chiz, Young Chiz from back in the day. And we're here with this new idea, this new creation, because of my love for hip-hop and my love to spread my opinion and share my views and create something to help people deliver their creations or whatever that creation may be, whether it be music, fashion, art, whether it be a physical talent, whether it be being an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship and being a businessman and wanting to help people do the same things that you do or whatever the case may be. This is why we're here. Now, who I am, it's not really that important. I think the message is more important than anything. Now, if you don't know what CWTFB means, CWTFB, it's actually CWTFB, but nobody has time to say W because it's a long-ass letter. So we say C-Dub because we see dubs over here. We see W's. CWTFB Radio. CWTFB, what that means is choose what the future brings. Now, in order for you to understand why the name of this podcast is CWTFB Radio, I'm going to have to take you back about 10 years, just over 10 years. Now, we are in January of 2020. This is going to be a weekly podcast, and I promise to deliver high-quality content, consistent content that you actually want to hear. Bring on guests that you actually want to hear from. I'm going to ask questions that, people are scared to ask. And, I hope, nobody gets crazy hard with the interview guy because, I'm going to be asking some asshole questions. But, you guys, I just hope y'all know what y'all signed up for, right? But anyway, I digress. We're going to bring it back to about 2009, right? We're going to bring it back to 2009, and the reason why we have to go back to 2009 is because I want you to see the relevance and how the creation of these 5 letters put together even happened. Now, anybody who knows me for real knows that I used to rap under the moniker of Young Chiz. Now, I was rapping as Young Chiz since I was about 14 years old. Didn't really take rap seriously until I was about, 16, 17. Rap with a couple groups. My man Narcy, that's my guy. You know what I mean? Shout out my nigga Narcy. Shout out all the original C-Dub members. Shout out all the original TFB members. Now, the way that this happened, it was really organic, right? Because, when we was out here, we was young, we was wilding, we was doing our thing. We was on our 1-2. We had to get paid by any means necessary. And my man Narcy always had a musical talent, and he knew I did too. And we used to do music together. And the booth was the closet at his grandma's crib in Charlestown Projects. You know what I'm saying? We was in the bricks. Now, he had put me on to some dudes that he knew. I forget how he told me he met them. Oh, obviously, no, I didn't forget. He met them through his aunt. His aunt was a former local reggaeton artist, Aka Flow. She also goes by Alyssa Styles now. Now, Aka's family, obviously, that's Narcy's aunt. She was a part of a group called Concealed Weapons Productions, right? That's where the C-Dub comes from, is CWTFB, Concealed Weapons Productions. Now, shout out to my man Grizzly, shout out to my man Devious, all my mans, my man Capacity, my man Brujo used to be down with the team too. There's a lot of people that came and went when it came to this crew, and realistically speaking, I'm not going to speak on the history of that group because I'm just going to tell you about when I met these guys and how it meshed together, right? So, Narcy was rapping, I was rapping, but we was also doing other things. And Narcy didn't really care for the music, but he knew that I did. He knew that I was the guy that wanted to be in the studio all day, every day. At the end of the day, niggas got bills to pay. We got shit to do. So being in the studio all day, every day isn't really conducive to getting money. It's actually a very expensive hobby at that point. But I was willing to be around a team that wanted to see my success and wanted to see success in music in general. So Narcy brought me to the studio one day. I was in on one of his sessions, and he goes to my man Grizzly the Specialist. That's my man right there. Shout out Grizzly. And he tells Grizzly, yo, listen, I don't want to rap. Y'all need a rapper. And, I got other shit that I'm working on. I got shit that I got to do. So this nigga right here, this nigga Chiz, he want to rap. Let him rap. Take my place. Now, my man Capacity laced a record for us called Push Back. He did a hook. And at this time, I wasn't even officially C-Dub. I wasn't really, I was with the crew. I used to, record a lot. We used to have fun, whatever, in the studio. Woo. And Capacity dropped the Push Back record. He laid the verse. And, he did all his, ad-libs. He was harmonizing all over the beat and everything. And he just said, yeah, you and Narcy do your thing with it. And we killed it. I don't know if you ever heard that that Max B rendition of Disturbia by Rihanna. Because that's how I felt what we did with Push Back. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those records that I recorded that I didn't really like, but a lot of women liked it. A lot of chicks was digging it. And, I guess, people on the team started taking a liking to me. Fast forward, I'm officially part of C-Dub Productions, C-Dub-P, right? Now we start doing music. We pumping out music. We doing shows. We doing all of this. But my team was always the Firm Boys. My team was me, my man Narcy, a lot of other guys like my right-hand man Cash, my man Riz, my man Fifth, my man Hammer. There was a lot of guys, my cousins, you know what I'm saying? Like my man Chris, my man O, like all of us were a collective crew, you know what I mean? We wasn't necessarily rappers, because I was the only one that was a rapper from that crew, but I always had TFB around me, the Firm Boys. So every time I'm in the studio, it's like Chiz plus 6, you know what I'm saying? It's like Chiz, plus this or whatever. And I ain't even gonna front, because I remember this nigga Grizzly told me not to, get too fond of putting this shit together. Like, yo, you gotta chill with that TFB shit. And I basically told him, I was like, bro, this is a package deal, my nigga. This is my team. And then it kind of organically happened when we just started saying C-Dub TFB. It happened around 2010. And, I'm telling you guys all of this just because I want y'all to see the journey, right? Because, 09, 08, 09, I start really trying to do music for real. Now in Boston at that time, it was crazy. Like, there wasn't really no support the way it is now. Now I'll tell you this right now, Boston is amazing in this climate that we have for hip hop in 2020. What I've seen 2019 look like with a lot of artists from this city, I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen within the next 2 to 5 years, right? Because what's happening right now is really amazing. In reality, what's happening right now is what we wanted to be able to create back then. But different times, man, different people. Different mindsets as well, you know what I mean? Like in 2009, I was 19, you know what I'm saying? It's 2020, I'm a 30-year-old man. I no longer have a desire to pursue rap music, but I like to share this story with people so y'all can see why the hip hop is still in me, and like why I'm never gonna not want to be a part of hip hop culture, because this is what I does. You understand what I'm saying? So, fast forward 2010, C-Dub TFB becomes a thing, right? We got t-shirts, you know what I mean? We got the hashtag or whatever all over the internet. And this is when Twitter really was starting to get rocking in Boston, like 2009, 2010. I don't really know for everybody else, but I know around that time, that's when I was really getting rocking on Twitter and social media in general. Because I didn't even get an Instagram until 2020, like 2012 type shit, you know what I mean? So we've been creating. We were creating. A lot of good albums dropped. You had the Young Chiz, Don Carlito Volume 1. You had the Grizzly album, which was Drugs, Money, and Problems. The Devious Solo never actually dropped, but we also had a C-Dub Productions compilation. Then you had the other Young Chiz joint, HOES, Hoes, House of Ekalam, Swing, which was a freestyle mixtape. Allowed people to see what I could do, actually just spitting, whether it was written or off the top. I do believe that, certain quick written shit can be considered a freestyle because you're not really going off of format. You're just going off of the first thing that comes to your mind, but you're just trying to create some type of structure while you're writing. So it's still a fucking freestyle. So for y'all motherfuckers that be like, oh, it's written, it's not a freestyle. Yeah, it is. But anyway, I digress. A lot of projects was dropping. Alyssa Styles dropped something. All the while, 2010, the biggest thing that happened to the crew was Narcy going to prison. Now Narcy, like I said, niggas had to eat. He got caught up. You know what I mean? He had to sit for a little bit, from 2010 to 2014. Now, the team is different at this point because you have to still remember, Narcy's the person who introduced me to these people. And this is my family at this point. But at the same time, it's different when you know what I'm saying? It's like going to your dad's house, like your dad's side of the family's crib, and your dad ain't there type shit. You know what I mean? Your mom ain't there. Your mom dropped you off. You know what I'm saying? And your dad's not there. And he's not going to be there for the next 4 years. So every time you go there, you're reminded of your dad. And I ain't calling this nigga my dad. But what I'm saying is, it was a missing piece to the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I said free Narcy in a lot of my records, and it's not because it was something cool to say. It was because I needed my man to be free, man. Like, it was a different environment. It was a different vibe without my guy around because he's a natural creator. Like you meet street niggas, you meet niggas that are from the streets. They might come from really good families, but when you're around a certain environment, you're gonna become a different person. But that does not make you an ultra creative person. That does not make you. It does not make you an ultra creative person. That does not make you a very sensitive person to your craft. It just means that you ain't got time to dream. You got time to take care of whatever you got to take care of. So in the midst of just taking care of life and doing his thing, he had to sit for 4 years. And in between that time, we continued to grow. We continued to do music. I learned how to create my own style when it came to music. I learned how to use my voice as an instrument rather than, because when I was first rapping, I was like sounding like this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I sounded crazy. But, my voice smoothened out. And, I learned what my strengths were. And I also knew what my weaknesses were too. You know what I mean? When it comes to music, very transparent. I don't think I was the best rapper, but I was a pretty good songwriter. I knew how to write a story. I know how to write a hook. You know what I'm saying? I know how to write a real hot 16 for your joint that's going to make the song better, but if I was on it by myself, it might not have been that hot type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I knew that about myself, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But either way, CWTFB was on the rise, and this is, there was a lot of other guys in the city that was doing their thing. Shout out to everybody who's been consistently doing their thing in Boston since around that time, and, people who knew me from rap. I was never really the guy that was always around the hip-hop shops and all of that. Like, I'd come and be seen whenever I needed to be, but realistically, like I said, we had lives to live. We had things to do. But let's flash forward. A lot of things done happen. A lot of people start growing. A lot of people start going through different things in life. Starting, you're in a different space. You know what I'm saying? And let's fast forward to, I want to say 2012. Right, from 2010 to 2012. 2012, that's when I dropped the HOES mixtape, Hoes. I dropped that. It was cool, it was cute. And then I got introduced to something called network marketing in 2013. Now, in 2013, when I got introduced to network marketing, I wasn't really sold on it. I'm not even going to front. Like, I wasn't even, you know what I mean? Like, if you know what network marketing is, it's MLM, multi-level marketing, direct sales, however you want to put it. A lot of people misconstrue it for things that it's not. But if you know anybody who's in the industry, do your homework. Get educated. Don't sound like a fucking idiot. But either way, I got introduced to network marketing. I had a good paying job at the time for a 23-year-old. So I didn't really feel like I needed, any extra money. I was leaving the street shit behind me because I was getting in trouble in and out of the courthouse, and got a little slap on the hand and all of that. And I just know that I'm looking at these people that I love and respect who are in jail, or some people who didn't make it to jail. You know what I'm saying? Who are no longer with us. And things of that nature. And I had to make a decision for myself. Jail ain't for me, man. I know some people that go in and they're like, yo, I know how to do time. And that's the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard. Like, niggas would be like, oh, I know how to do time. Why do you know how to do time, nigga? Like, that's not something that anybody should ever want to fucking aspire to learn. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn how to do time. Like, fuck out of here. You sound like a dumbass. But either way, I started working a little job at T-Mobile, became, a store manager and all of that. And I got introduced to an idea that a friend of mine came to me and showed me. All the while, I'm still doing music. CWTFB, it's not, moving the way that it was before, because, when you got shows lined up and then, promoters are looking for you, but you're sitting at Nashua Street, it kind of puts a damper on relationships with people. A lot of people didn't take me serious as a rapper anymore, and it wasn't other rappers. It was just other creators. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man Chubby Chub, man. He always had love for me, man. But Chub told me, he was like, yo, bro, you got to make a decision on if you want to be a rapper or if you want to be in the streets, because I don't got the time to be co-signing a nigga who's not fully committed to this shit. And that was a real wake-up call for me, because it started making me think about music and where I wanted to go with it and what I really wanted from life. You know what I'm saying? Now, the group started breaking up. People started doing different things. People are changing. People are growing up. People are in different life circumstances. You know what I mean? Some people have children. At this time, I didn't have any kids. So I didn't understand it. But what I did understand is that I respect my mans and I respect his opinion on whatever it is that he has to say, or his views, or whatever the case may be, especially when it has to do with real life situations. So Grizzly came to me and told me that he was no longer doing music. We had X amount of time to record all the music that we wanted to record, and X amount of time to get all the music from him that we needed to get from him. And he was our engineer. He was our fucking in-house engineer, bro. We no longer had management. Shout out my man Trinity, but even Trinity, when he was managing us, shortly ended after a little while, and we was managing ourselves, and then Grizzly hit us with this bomb, like, yeah, I ain't doing music no more. This is what's happening. And I had to respect it. My man found God, and who am I to tell the nigga not to find God? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a devout Christian. I do believe in Christ. I come from a very religious family. I am not that type of person, so I don't understand I don't understand that type of perspective where it's like, the religion thing. So I'm not going to get into it. It's not for me to understand, but I do respect my mans, and he made a decision, so it was what it was. Now, at that time, well, I got introduced to MLM. What it came to me was like, you know what? I'm going to build a team with this shit. I'm going to build a team with this shit, and I'm going to grab these 5 letters, and I'm going to run with it. Because CWTFB was no longer a thing, musically at least. It was no longer a thing. CWP was done. And TFB was still a thing. Till this day, TFB still a thing. But, CWTFB was no longer and like it was no longer like a real idea anymore. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I took those 5 letters and I literally just wrote them side by side, and I started writing down what I feel like these 5 letters should represent, because I wanted to rebrand. I wanted to take something that, you know, concealed weapons, the Firm Boys. Like you look at those 5 letters, you look at that name. First off, concealed weapons, the Firm Boys was never marketable. Like it was, it was never something that, you know, a fucking big ass record company is gonna be like, yo, listen, I need to get behind that concealed weapons, the Firm Boys. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? For one, there was already a firm. You know what I mean? Like the rappers, you know what I mean? Nas, Nature, Foxy, and them, AZ. But now, you know, we the Firm Boys. And they're like, who the fuck is the Firm Boys? But anyway, I digress, like I said. I took those 5 letters, and organically, it turned into Choose What the Future Brings. And the reason being is because that's exactly what I intended on doing. I wanted to take control of my destiny. I wanted to take those 5 letters and turn it into a household brand. I didn't want anybody telling me what to do or when to do it or who to do it with or for how long that I need to do it. I saw an opportunity to create time freedom and financial freedom, which is half the battle. Because a lot of motherfuckers got financial freedom, but they ain't got no time. You know, they might be able to buy whatever they want to buy, but they ain't even got time to go out and buy the shit. You see what I'm saying? So I seen an opportunity, and I saw a way for me to turn the brand that I know and love into something positive, and also turn it into a brand that would be in multiple different households. You know what I'm saying? So that was then. You know what I mean? That was 2013, like 2014 actually. That's when that actually happened, when I transitioned CWTFB over to the company I used to be a part of. And that was fun, you know what I mean? Team grew. A lot of people was supporting the brand. A lot of people was learned a lot. A lot of people were around the culture that I was trying to create, that I did create. And it was fun while it lasted. I earned residual income and yada, 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 yada. And everything is good until it no longer works, right? I am not in the business of selling false hopes. Now, when a hustle works, it works. When it no longer works, it no longer works. It's really that simple to me. Like, I'm not one of those people who's going to hold on to a grind just because of all the time that I put into it. That's not how business works. When the price of doing business gets too high, you get the fuck out of business. So, and that's really what it came down to. That company that I was with was no longer profitable for me, and I didn't want to sell a dream to people who were on my team and tell them that they could do things that they want to do when I was no longer to do it my damn self. So that happened. And all the while, you know, this is 17 when I finally said, you know, good riddance to that industry. But CWTFB is still mine. It's actually the name of my company. Now, if you anything I have, I will probably slap those 5 letters on it under this umbrella because it's my thing, it's my baby. And I truly believe in choosing what the future brings. At this point, it's no longer that I don't remember what the original meaning is. It's not that I forgot, because I love where we came from, but I love the evolution of it. You know what I mean? I love to see, you know, 9 to 10 kids from the hood who, you know, who's all, you know, we had the same vision, and somehow, some way, we all ended out on different paths. You know, my man Devious became a business owner. You know, Grizzly found God. You know, my man Riz went to, you know, I think he's on his way to med school. You know what I mean? He probably went to school for nursing. You know, a lot of things is happening, man. Like, a lot of people are growing up. People are having kids. Things is different. You know, we got people, we have more people who are depending on us. But realistically, the whole goal of moving forward has not changed. The whole goal of choosing what the future brings and choosing what life looks like 5 to 10 years from now has not changed. Niggas know what we want. And we still want financial freedom and time freedom. But the difference is that I always had the need to create, and I was no longer creating. And I felt a void. And that void was soon to be filled. I had the CWTFB clothing. It worked for a little while. You know what I mean? While I had a team who all wanted to wear the same shit, it worked for a little while. But for me, I don't mind being a serial entrepreneur, man. I'll open up 1 million fucking businesses. I don't care if 500,000 of them fail. I don't even care if 750,000 of them fail. All I need to know is that I'm not scared to try again. I'm not scared to do some shit. You know what I mean? I'm not scared to. I'm okay with saying that I tried and failed. But what I'm not okay with is not trying. So, fast forward, when it comes to creating, we go to 2019. In December of 2018, I recorded the first episode to my former podcast, Paula. And this is not no shot at my man, Manop. I don't want nobody to think that like, yo, this nigga started a new podcast. He didn't bring his mans in on it. And realistically, this was my original vision. I love my guy. I love my bro. That's my dog, and he knows that. But when it comes to creating, I wanted something that I wanted full control over. Paula was amazing. We only did 3 episodes, but the impact that podcast had on Boston within those short 3 months was amazing. And things happen, creative differences or life just happens. That's still my brother, like I said, but we're no longer creating that thing together. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no idea, what it's going to look like, because if the situation is right, if the timing is right, Paula might come back. But right now, I wanted to bring CWTFB back to the essence. What does CWTFB mean to me? It means family. You know what I mean? It means progress. It means pain. It means sorrow. It means loss. It means rising from the ashes, like the phoenix. It means trying again. It means doing shit differently until it works. Not doing the same shit over and over and over, expecting different results. It's doing shit differently until you get the shit right. Because if I keep doing the same shit and I realize it's not working, why the fuck am I still doing that? But if I do something and I do it from the heart and I do it with intent and I do it with conviction and a pure heart and coming from a place where there's no malicious intent, I promise you 9 times out of 10 it's gonna work. I love hip-hop. Like, I fucking love hip-hop. And all types of hip-hop. Like, I'll be going from listening to Sean Price to some Lil Nas X right after. And don't get me wrong, Lil Nas X probably only got like 2 songs that I fucking know by him. But what I'm saying is, I have a huge library of music that I do not discriminate against. I love this motherfucking hip-hop game. I love what we can do with it. And all I want to do is talk to the people that I'm a fan of. I'll tell you right now, I will never have somebody on this show who I don't actually listen to their music. And the reason being is because I need it to be authentic. I don't want nobody, I don't want nobody on here just cause they hot. A lot of people be hot, and I don't think they good. A lot of niggas is hot. But being hot ain't enough for me. You gotta come correct. And even if you ain't spitting, like, Griselda's my favorite shit right now. Griselda's my shit right now. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Charlie Machine, man, it's funny that I mentioned Griselda because my name's Charlie Machine, and you know, Conway, I ain't even gonna front, bro. I had the name first. I ain't even gonna front, man. I really have no idea when you had that name, bro. But my man Manop actually gave me the name Charlie Machine just after the Charlie Sheen winning interview. You know what I'm saying? I don't really remember what year that was. It might have been 2010, 2009, or whatever. But I've been Charlie Machine since then. You know, a lot of motherfuckers knew me as Young Chiz, but Charlie Machine was my alias, and I made it a permanent name, I believe, starting in 2013. Now, I'm into this rap shit, man, and what I really want to, you know, stress is that I'm a student. Anything that I start, I'm gonna learn it to the best of my capabilities, because you can't truly do something or teach something until you fully have learned it and understood it. And that's where I'm at. I'm just ready to create. I'm ready to sit down with solid individuals who are currently working diligently towards something. And I can't wait for my first guest. You know, I already locked him in. I spoke to him earlier today. You know, I told him like, yeah, this is when we gonna do it. Woo, woo, woo. I need you on here, and this is somebody I've been wanting to interview since Paula. So, you know, I got a whole lineup of amazing artists that I want to interview, and I'm just excited, man. You know, I just really want y'all to embrace these 5 letters, CWTFB. I want y'all to embrace, you know, the message that I'm trying to say, and that's really, you could do whatever the fuck you want to do, man. Like, a lot of people make excuses. I'm tired. No more fucking excuses in 2020. You know my favorite word gonna be 2020? Irrelevant. You give me an excuse, irrelevant, nigga, because that's what it is. I don't want to hear that shit. Let's figure out a way. Is it time that's going to stop you from doing what you want to do? Is it money that's going to stop you from doing what you want to do? Whatever it is an answer. There's a solution to your problem. There's a solution to every problem. You just got to search and find what that solution is. And my solution to wanting to create is what we have here. CWTFB Radio. We're going to talk more, guys. I don't want to talk y'all ear off. I just been ranting for the last half hour. I gave y'all a little preface of what I'm gonna bring to the table and what I want to you know, bring to this region. Realistically, I'm excited. I just want y'all to tune in. This is gonna be on Apple Podcasts, probably a couple other platforms. Haven't figured all of that out yet, but we just creating, baby, and thank you for tuning in. I hope y'all listened to it to the end, and if you didn't, fuck you. But I'm glad you pressed play anyway. It's your boy Machine, Charlie Machine, man. We signing out, man. This is the creation. The creation and the evolution. I like that. I like the way that sounds. CWTFB Radio.